Hello everyone, this is the Chapter 3 review in preparation for the Chapter 3 test. Now I have a bunch of review problems for you, and I've actually listed the answers below each problem so that you can go through and give it a try and check your understanding and check your answer. And then if you're having trouble on a problem, you're not getting the right answer, then you can watch these videos I'm making to see how to do it. All right, so let's get started with the first problem in section 3.1, which is identify the terms and the like terms of the expression. So and we're looking at this expression right here. So when we're identifying the terms, those are all the numbers separated by a plus or a minus sign. Oops, so what happened here? We got zoomed out. All right, there we go. So the terms would be 10x squared, and then it's important, the real key here is to remember that the sign in front of each number or variable is part of that term. So we would think of this as a negative y, a positive 12, and then a negative 3x squared. So you can see those terms are listed there. And then for like terms, we need to have the same variables with the same exponents. So that would be our 10x squared and our negative 3x squared would be like terms because they both have the variable of x and the exponent of 2. But for example, x squared and x are not like terms because they have different exponents. One is squared and one is not. All right, and then technically constants are also like terms. So there aren't any other constants here besides 12, but say this problem had a plus 6 at the end, that would be a like term with 12 because they're both just regular numbers or constants, you could think about it. Okay, so that's the first one. You'll see a question like that on your quiz. So next we're going to work on simplifying these next two expressions. So 6 and 4/10 r minus 7 minus 2 and 9/10 r. So first, when we're simplifying, we just basically are combining like terms. So on this one, we need to identify the like term. So we have a 6.4r, a 7, that's not a like term because it doesn't have an r. And then this next term has an r in it, and we have to remember that the sign stays with the term it's in front of. So we'll think of this as a negative 2.9r. So we can combine these, and we can think about this as 6.4 minus 2.9, and then we're talking about r's. So maybe off on the side somewhere, you'll just do a quick subtraction. 6.4 minus 2.9. You gotta borrow from your neighbor and make this a 14, which gives us a 5 and a 3. So that turns into 3.5r. And then we can't forget about our last term, which doesn't combine with anything, is this negative 7. And so we just add that onto the end as a minus 7. And that would be our answer that we would circle. So 3.5r minus 7. Okay. The next one, we should identify our like terms. So I see here the y's are like terms, so 2/3 y and then negative 1/6 y. And then the other like terms I see are 14 and negative 8. So let's combine our, oops, let's zoom back in here, sorry about that. Let's combine our y's first. So the tricky thing here is to remember if there's a subtraction sign in front of a term, to think about it as a negative. So we really have 2/3 y minus 1/6 y because we're keeping that negative sign with that second y term. So I can think about this as 2. Oh, gosh, guys, I'm so sorry that this keeps getting all zoomed out on you. What's going on here? Okay, so this equals 2/3 minus 1/6, and we're talking about y's. Well, you should all know that when we're adding and subtracting fractions, we need some common denominators. So our common denominator on this one would be a 6. So I'm just going to multiply the 3 by 2 and the 2 by 2. So that would turn this into 4/6 minus 1/6 y's. And then I subtract my numerator, so 4 minus 1 is 3, and I just keep my denominators, so that's a 6y. And then I can reduce this a little bit. We can divide the top by 3 and divide the bottom by 3 to turn this into 1/2 y. So what I did there is I just pulled out a 3 from each of those. I divided the top by 3, and anything I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom or the denominator. So that's how I got 1/2 y. Okay, but we're not done yet because we still have to look at our constant terms. Luckily, this is a little bit easier than what we just did. So this is just 14, and then this subtraction sign in front of the 8 stays with the 8, so 14 minus 8, which is a positive 6. So the way I write my final answer is I take this 1/2 y we got down here and I write it as 1/2 y. And then the other terms we combined were the constants, and we had a positive 6, so we write it as a plus 6. So that's our answer. All right, thanks so much for watching.